Girl to girl, let's talk about why I don't recommend you work with a creator, Ari White. I wasn't planning to film this video today, hence why I look like this, completely no makeup, but I need to talk about this before anyone else makes a decision without having the full picture first. I understand when someone like myself comes out and makes a statement like this that it is met with skepticism, and so it should be. But I've spoken to a lot of people and I've heard a lot of stories, and I wouldn't be publicly talking about something like this if it was literally just a one-off. In order to protect myself legally, I have to say allegedly. These things are alleged. I'm going to start with the first thing I ever heard about Ari White. I'd seen his content like pop up on Twitter and things like that, but I didn't know of him personally. However, an industry friend of mine, and yes, the first story does come from an industry friend, however, there are other sources that are not friends of mine. This person filmed a tape with Ari White. Now, in that tape, they had agreed to what was going to be in the scene and everything like that beforehand, as we do. During the scene, he was being incredibly rough. Can I also just add here, this person that's saying he was being very rough has a very high pain tolerance in what is considered rough to her. She definitely tolerates a lot more than I do. He's being incredibly rough and was being really rough in particular on her nipples. It was starting to really hurt her, and visibly on the tape, she asked him to stop. When the scene got back into it again, he continued to play with them. But I don't mean play with them, like rough play with them, which led to them getting torn and bleeding. That's how rough he was being. He tore her nipple piercing. There is video footage of her asking him to stop and him continuing. This is assault. If somebody says stop, you stop. In this same filming session, he also tried to continue filming off camera. Like while cameras were being moved, he tried to continue doing the thing, which is incredibly unprofessional. If you're a smaller creator, this is not how things should be at all, ever. So this is pretty wild. When I heard about this, I was pretty shocked. I knew I would never work with this creator myself, but at that time, that person was not comfortable with the public knowing her story. She has since given me permission to talk about this. Moving on, so I don't ramble too much as I do, we have a completely different creator, a male creator, and I want to start at the start with this story too. I was looking for people to collab with, and some people had mentioned Dex, okay? I was hearing some whispers and rumors about Dex being dangerous, or that he had allegedly raped somebody in a scene, and other people were telling me that he had purposely deleted footage or that he'd purposely sabotaged footage to have to refilm. These were all just whispers and rumors, and I had a good reference from somebody that I trusted, so I chose to work with Dex. I want to say in this video, I had a brilliant time working with Dex, and I would highly recommend you work with him. Now, when Dex and I filmed our 2 tapes we did, we'd never met before. We did not have a pre-established friendship. However, Dex explained to me where these rumors had come from. Guess the source, Ari White. Now, I understand you listening to this as a viewer, you're like, well, why is she trusting this guy, this Dex guy? She doesn't even know him. Well, the girl that was allegedly raped, and you know that all this happened with the tape, all the rumors were about his ex, has come forth and publicly posted on her story that none of this happened, that Ari made it up, and that she recommends people work with Dex. So now we have a creator running around trying to tarnish a new male creator's reputation with wild accusations. And the victim has come forth and said she was never a victim and nothing happened. I believe this was stemming from a place of jealousy, but I won't get into that. Since then, I know of somebody else going to work with him and having, again, issues with him trying to do the thing off camera. I have reports of girls not wanting to do the thing with him in group scenes because he is so rough that they are literally avoiding him. I'm going to let other women come and tell their own stories about, their experiences with him if they so choose to. However, just with the 2 full stories I've given here and the other information that I know about countless experiences of him hurting people, of him doing things off camera, this is not how this industry should be. This is not professional, and I do not care if my brand is tarnished in the process of talking about this. I don't want anyone else to get hurt. So there is my take on it. I advise you don't work with Ari White. He's not safe. If you ever need references before you work with a creator, please reach out, because I know at least all of the girls that I am friends with are not scared to give references. I'm more than happy to keep the other girls safe. I'm happy to tell you if we had a good or bad time working with that creator. And while I haven't worked with Ari personally, I don't want anyone else working with him because I know what he's been doing to other girls. There we go. I'm sure at some point Ari will see this video and I'm sure I'll be hit with some great backlash, but it is what it is. Please excuse my appearance, but yeah, I needed to get this up before anyone else agrees to do a collab and ends up getting fucked over by this cunt.